on the retail side, and Maureen is going to give you a presentation on food service. So I'm quickly going to run through the Irish retail market, retail performance, Irish shopper behaviour, and then just a brief slide on marketplace. So the total grocery market is valued at 8.9 billion. The food market is valued at 7.1 billion. Private label, which is a growing trend, now accounts for 34% of total grocery market. So that's 3 billion in sales. As I'm sure you all know, promotional activity has increased, and now 31% of spend is purchased on offer. The winners this year are Tesco, Aldi and Lidl, and they continue to grow well ahead of the overall market. And categories that are doing well are ambient, fresh food. They have been the strongest performing categories. So if we look at the current retail climate, sales are sluggish, margins are tight, and managing costs is a challenge. Loyalty, while it is picking up and retailers are keeping more customers in store, it is becoming harder to earn.
Sorry,
Promotion.
There's a slight confusion for the start because there's more people coming in here now.
Oh, right, okay.
Mixed up with the UK market.
Sure, okay, no problem. Might have to. Yeah, it is, more space. Okay, so I'm just going to go back over the first slide then. My name is Gillian and I work on the I work in the Ireland Market Department on the retail side of things. So just to start again, we're going to have a look through the retail market, retail performance, shopper behaviour, and then a slide on marketplace. So the total Irish grocery market is valued at 8.9 billion and food accounts for 7.1 billion. Private label, which is a growing trend, accounts for 34% of total grocery market, and that's 3 billion in sales. Promotional activity has increased and now 31% of spend is purchased on offer. Tesco, Aldi and Lidl continue to grow well ahead of the overall market. And in terms of categories that are doing well this year, it's ambient and fresh food. Looking at the current retail climate, sales are sluggish, margins are tight and managing costs are a challenge. Loyalty is becoming hard to earn. Promotions are still very important, and really what you'll find is many of the retailers are working hard just to keep still. So if we look at the short term and the longer term focus, in the short term for retailers there is a trend towards cheaper and more value options. Continued growth in private label and premiumisation for the moment will just remain on hold. In the longer term, there is that demand for convenience. Functional foods and the health agenda is very important. And retailers, in particular the discounters, are growing through new store openings, and the likes of Tesco then growing through opening different formats like express stores. So in Ireland, multiple retail accounts for 75% of the Irish retail market, and Tesco is the market leader with 27.4% of the market share. This is followed by Dunnes with 23%, SuperValu at 19.7%, but now with the SuperValu Superquinn takeover, it's going to push them into second or first place, so they're going to be much stronger. So if we look at retail, 90% of the share is multiple. So if you're looking at Irish retail, where you want to be at is in with the multiple sector. It's much more disciplined, it's easier to service. If you're looking at the convenience sector, they have 10% of the share. They are difficult to service, but they do service a need. So just then quickly on the retail players, Tesco and the discounters have both gained to a combination of switching and incremental spend from existing shoppers. Tesco brought in lighter shoppers, while Aldi and Lidl have recruited heavier shoppers to drive growth. And Tesco maintain high-risk share of pre-value buyers in store. SuperValu and Superquinn rely mostly on the older shoppers. Targeting younger buyers will be a priority for retailers going forward.
So excuse me, what's the difference between lighter and heavier buyers?
Lighter would be the occasional buyers, whereas heavier shoppers would be the ones that would kind of do the larger proportion of the shopping. If you look then at the discounters have been going very strongly in Ireland, both Aldi and Lidl, and they've been a real threat to retailers such as Tesco, Dunnes and SuperValu. So they now have 10.7% of the ROI grocery market, and they've attracted 1.2 million households in the last quarter. The average basket size there is €19.60, And the shoppers visit discounters now 9.1 times on average over the last, that's in the latest quarter. Brands are growing, and particularly in Lidl, you'll see a lot more familiar brands in Lidl. Aldi stick to 100% of their own brands. Just going to run through quickly the slides. I've done a slide here on each of the retailers. So if we even just have a look at their competing strategy, and these slides are available, so if anyone wants a copy afterwards, we can give them out. So Tesco's competing strategy, they lead the market, they want to be number one. They do try and offer value, and they have their switch and save options. Their range, they want to be very strong across their range in all categories, which means that they don't want shoppers going anywhere else. They want them to stay in store. They're now looking a lot more local sourcing, and in each of their stores you'll see a lot more local products in there. Their online home delivery is growing, and themselves and Superquinn, I know SuperValu have now started to do online, but Tesco have been very strong in this. They are a PLC, they own their own business. The shopper profile for Tesco is generally younger households, pre-family, young families, and they're mainly based in Dublin, the Leinster area. If we look at Dunnes then, their competing strategy, value, better value, range again, not as good as Tesco, but they're working hard on their range. They focus strongly on their Irish heritage, they're Irish owned. They will always follow Tesco, so whatever Tesco do, they will look at them and follow, and they do also have their value offering in their club cards. Their shopper profile is middle family with older dependents, and generally based in the Munster-Dublin region. Again with SuperValu, and as you all know, they will be completing the sale of the Superquinn stores. Their competing strategy is very much local, community based, offering good service, convenience, value. Their hero categories are their fresh food, and they've done a lot recently with their community offers, so signing up with well-known chefs like Kevin Dundon. Their shopper profile tends to be older households with older families. Superquinn then, who've been suffering over the last couple of years, their competing strategy was really around their quality service, their value, but also they were growing in terms of their online shopping offer. Looking at Lidl and Aldi now, both Lidl and Aldi have been doing very well over the past 10 years in Ireland. They now have a countrywide presence. They focus on their core range. They have, particularly with Lidl, they have a mix of both brands and private label, and you will see them working with Irish brands. They have more and more Irish brands in stores. They do want to be the cheapest, so they will always try and offer the cheapest price. And they also, to bring shoppers in, they have their non-food focus, and their shop profiles for Lidl tends to be older, but for Aldi it tends to be younger. As you all know, it's now acceptable to shop in the discounters. Spar and the Symbol Group has been suffering over the past year because competition in the market is so rife. So their competing strategy is local, it's convenient, service, community, value. They now also have a large private label range in store, and they're trying to compete on that. If we look then at shopper behaviour, currently for the Irish shopper, it's all about a balancing act. They're buying less, they're switching into cheaper formats, so switching into the likes of Aldi and Lidl. They're buying more private label. They're spending 3% less this year as they make one less trip and reduce basket size, and their grocery spend is down from €4.80 to €4.10. So they are making more informed decisions, and caution has become a key watchword. They're learning to do without and redefining their aspirations according to their means. They are looking for cheaper alternatives, and they're reducing the number of shopper trips. So next year at Marketplace, we will be targeting 50 Irish retail buyers, and they will be from Tesco, SuperValu, Dunnes, Discount, and also the convenience retailer. We'll also be looking at inviting key distributors as well, and also we'll be focusing on some of the independent stores, the likes of maybe the Donnybrook Fairs or the larger independent stores. If you have any questions, you can contact me. There are my details, and I know I'm going to be meeting some of you later. I'm going to pass you over now to Maureen. Yeah.
presentation will be even shorter than Gillian's, and if you're moving on to other presentations, don't worry, because everything is running about 15 minutes late. So, okay, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Maureen Gahan, and